I'm Joseph Efut, the principal investigator for this study. The chairman for this section, please permit me to stand on existing protocol. The title for this study is Prevalence and Risk Factors Associated with Overweight and Obesity among Civil Servants in the Southern Senatorial District of Cross River State, Nigeria. Problem statement. Overweight and obesity are the fifth leading risks of global death, with at least 2.8 million adults deaths each year from complications of overweight and obesity. In 2016, more than 1.9 billion adults 18 years and older were overweight. Of these, over 650 million were obese. 39% of adults aged 18 and older were overweight. Globally, overweight and obesity have reached epidemic proportion. In Nigeria, the prevalence of obesity ranges from 8.1 to 22.2%. The objective of the study was to determine the prevalence and risk factors associated with overweight and obesity among civil servants in the Southern Senatorial District. The specific objectives were to determine the prevalence of overweight and obesity, to determine the perceived risk factors of overweight and obesity, to assess the perceived preventive measures of overweight and obesity. The study area was conducted in Southern. Study population were civil servants aged 18 to 60 years. The study design was a cross-sectional descriptive studies design with quantitative approach. The sampling procedures, a multi-stage sampling technique was used to select 420 respondents. Stage one was a selection of ministries, selection of departments, and selection of respondents. Instruments for data collection were stadiometer, digital weighing balance, and semi-structured questionnaire. Method of data analysis: data was analyzed using Microsoft Excel 2007 and XPSS version 20. The mean and standard deviation were used for continuous variables. Chi-square was used for categorical variable. Result: the prevalence of overweight and obesity, as you can see in the pictorial representation, shows that overweight was 34%, obesity was 22.6%, normal weight was 41%, underweight was 2.4%. Association of socio-demographic status with BMI of respondents. From the table, it is clearly shown that age was statistically significant, as it was less than 0.05, and the income level was also statistically significant. The prevalence of overweight by sex, rather by age, we can see from the pictorial representation that those aged 32 to 45 years, we had 44.3% within that age range, and that was, of course, the highest. And this implies that obesity increases with increase in age. Prevalence of overweight and obesity by sex. The picture clearly shows that female, 35.6%, had the highest. And of course, for overweight and obesity was 20.9%. This shows, the table shows the association of overweight and social demographic characteristics of participants. From that table, we can see that age was statistically significant. All other variables were not statistically significant. This shows the association of obesity with social demographic characteristics, and we can see very clearly that three variables were significant, statistically significant, which were income level, marital status, and age. Other variables were not significant. This table shows the association of risk factors with the prevalence of overweight and obesity. And for this association, the drug use was statistically significant, and alcohol consumption. This table shows the association of risk factors with the prevalence of obesity. From this table, we can see that drug use was significant, smoking significant, and the family history were statistically significant as risk factors. Contributions to knowledge. The study provided data on the prevalence of overweight and obesity, 34% and 22.6% respectively, among civil servants. The study identified drug use, alcohol consumption, smoking, and family history as risk factors associated with overweight and obesity. All right, my conclusion. Individuals with overweight and obesity should be engaged in regular physical activity. Individuals should ensure that body weight and height are checked regularly to determine their body mass index. There should be health education on overweight and obesity, health implications, and preventive measures among civil servants. Finally, the government should develop and implement policies to enhance healthy diet. Thank you so very much. Thank you.